Isn't there somewhere else you could do that? Do you have to just stand there eating grapes as loudly as possible while I'm trying to record the video?
No, I don't have to. Honestly, I don't even like grapes.
So why are you doing this?
Just poking fun at Matthew Hardy. I mean, who does that guy think he is anyway? With his stupid split personality evil twin gimmick. As if that's really gonna get over. What a douchebag.
Yeah. Besides, we had that gimmick first. So this was the show where they gave their whole explanation for how all the stuff at Bound for Glory happened. As expected, there wasn't much to it. Hogan and Bischoff say this made all the sense in the world. No, it didn't. In fact, if you actually bother to go back and look at the timeline for a minute, there are a lot of gaping plot holes here. So if this has been in the works for as long as they say it has, that means that when Bischoff was forcing Jarrett to flip burgers and mop the bathroom floor, they were really in cahoots. When Abyss was choking out Hogan with his own Hall of Fame ring, they were really in cahoots. When Jeff Hardy and Abyss were beating the hell out of each other backstage because Jeff was pissed off about what Abyss did to Rob Van Dam, they were really in cahoots. If they had actually said that they did all these things on purpose just to sell the illusion, then I might be willing to buy some of this, but they didn't. Basically, they just took all that stuff that didn't add up and they swept it under the rug. And it didn't help that Jeff had no real reason to do what he did either. He cut some vague promo about herniated discs and that's it. Jeff has no explanation beyond that. You know, if you want to take a guy like Jeff Hardy, who's been a babyface for ages, and turn him heel, have him stab his friends in the back, you really need more of an explanation than, I'm sick of destroying my body for the fans. It's not a good explanation or a satisfying explanation, it just comes off like a paper-thin excuse to make him a bad guy. So while this is going down, the crowd is chanting, same old shit, and they're right, it's the NWO all over again. You throw Fortune in there and you've got just a huge schmoz of bodies in the ring. There's so many people in this damn faction now that no one's going to get spotlighted, and that's a big problem if your goal is to use this faction to create new stars. So Dixie has lost control of her company because of those official-looking documents she signed without reading first, big surprise. She confronts Sting and Nash backstage and she says what every single person who's still watching this show has been thinking, that if they had just talked to her in plain English instead of playing all these cryptic mind games and acting like heels for 8 months, she would have listened to them. Why didn't they just do that? What's their excuse? I don't know. They never gave one. Which basically means that the writers just needed some kind of plot device to move this conspiracy angle forward. They didn't think it through well enough, and they figured we'd just be so flabbergasted by all the stuff that's going down that we just disregard all the things that don't make sense in this situation. By the way, I think it's absolutely hilarious that they tried to make Sting and Nash out to be the good guys here when they were the ones who could have very easily prevented this whole thing if they had just talked to Dixie for 5 minutes, like any sane human being would have. But no, instead of actually doing something constructive, they had to be all vague and mysterious, and all the bad shit they said was happening, they just let it happen. And now that it's done, they're just walking away because fuck it, we got vindicated, we don't owe you shit, Dixie. Good riddance to him, please stay gone this time. But I have to say, Dixie Carter is a really good sport for going along with this because it seems like this entire angle was specifically designed to make her look like the biggest idiot on earth. Dramatic irony or poetic justice? I guess they're leaving that up to us. At 9:48 p.m., we have our first wrestling match, and it's basically just Madison Rayne and Tara doing the finger poke of doom so Madison can get the Knockouts title back. Why the hell did Tara go along with this? She got her job back, she got the title back, putting her in the perfect position to flip off Madison and be like, hey, I got what I wanted, I don't need you anymore. You think I'm gonna lay down for you? You can go straight to hell. But no. Apparently, the Knockouts Championship is not as important to Tara as being Madison Rayne's bitch. There were so many better ways they could have done this. Why not just have Madison go over at Bound for Glory? If they wanted to put the title back on Madison Rayne and tease tension between her and Tara, there are perfectly good ways of doing that without completely devaluing the championship. And when you add this to all the other screwy bullshit title changes we've already seen this year, congratulations, Russo. That belt is absolutely worthless now. Good job. At least they had Mickey come out and be the voice of reason and act disgusted about the whole thing, but that entire angle just should not have been done, period. In related news, TNA signed Katie Lee Burchill. Don't really care too much about that, honestly. Can she wrestle? Yeah. Are there plenty of women on the independents that are way better than her that I wish TNA would sign instead? Yeah. But whatever. It's one more girl who can wrestle, so good. At 10:18 p.m., we had our first real wrestling match of the night. It's Samoa Joe versus Abyss that goes about 2 minutes and ends in a DQ. Because if there was one thing that Samoa Joe desperately needed to get his heat back after being made to look like a total fool at Bound for Glory, it was getting laid out by Abyss in 2 minutes. God forbid he go after Jeff Jarrett and choke him out like the fans in attendance were obviously expecting him to. No. He's just gonna get DQ'd against a guy he doesn't even give a crap about because he's supposed to be totally focused on Jarrett. That's real smart booking there. We have another match. Pope versus Fortune. Fortune have a 5-on-1 advantage and still have to cheat to win. Yeah, Immortal's up to a great start right there. They look real strong. The Shore come out to cut another promo. Because what Impact really needed at this point was another fucking promo. The crowd chants, "Who are you?" They remind us that the Jersey Shore is on right now. The crowd chants, "Boring." JWoww from the Jersey Shore shows up because Cookie, a woman who's been in TNA for 1 week, has been talking smack about JWoww, and we can't have that now, can we? So the beautiful people bring her out to the ring to get in Cookie's face. She slaps Cookie around and they have their little publicity stunt. TNA paid JWoww $15,000 to do this, which is probably more than the entire Knockout roster makes in 2 months. You know, maybe Big D is right about me and I do exist in a wrestling bubble, but I don't like Jersey Shore, I don't watch Jersey Shore, I don't give a rat's ass who JWoww is. I think Jersey Shore is the most embarrassing pop culture phenomenon since Twilight. I watched 15 minutes of an episode in a hotel room once. It was the stupidest shit I've ever seen. So right out of the gate, I'm not feeling this. But for some ungodly reason, the Jersey Shore is pretty much the most talked about show on TV right now. And as I understand it, TNA did actually get a lot of press from this. So as a publicity stunt, I get it. But you did this in the same time slot that Jersey Shore airs in. Clever counter-programming or stupid booking? I guess the quarter-hour ratings will tell us that. But here's the real problem. This Shore gimmick is terrible. The fans hate this thing. I said I would give the gimmick a shot, but I'm sorry. People fucking hate it. It's stupid. It's so stupid it's got the Impact Zone crowd doing boring chants, and that crowd will pop for anything. They'd pop for a bag of shit if you put one in the ring. If even that crowd is calling you boring, that's not heel heat you're getting. That's the other kind of heat. That's the kind of heat you don't want. And the sad part is that a clever parody gimmick used to poke fun at these idiots through satire might actually work if done carefully. But the Shore gimmick is so ridiculously over the top, it's not about parody, it's outright mocking another show in the hopes that it'll get you a cheap plug on TMZ. So now you've got 2 brand new talents that the fans don't care about yet on Impact feuding with a trashy reality show. So was it worth it, TNA? Are you going to bring JWoww back? Are you going to have her do a full-blown feud with Cookie now? Are they going to have a match at Turning Point? Is it going to be another Jenna Maraska match? Because that got over so well the first time, didn't it? Jesus Christ. If you absolutely have to do that, and I'm sure you want to, don't even call it a wrestling match, okay? Don't make it about anything more than what it is. They roll around for a glorified 2-minute catfight, you get in, get your Access Hollywood plug, and get out. At 10:59 p.m., we have our 4th match of the night. By this point, we've had about 4 minutes of wrestling in 2 hours. It's Rob Van Dam versus Ken Anderson. Because when half the roster just joined this huge new heel faction, what we really want to see is 2 babyfaces fighting each other. The match bleeds over into reaction. It's actually a pretty good match, and then we get the obligatory screwy finish that ruins it. Total nonstop action? How about total nonstop promos? Because that's what this show was. I will concede that most of the promos were very good. Like Angle and Jarrett, that was awesome. But that's all this show had. You have reaction now. You don't need to spend so much time on promos during Impact. You say you're the company that's proud to be pro wrestling, so where's the wrestling? Why the hell is Eric Bischoff getting more screen time than all the wrestlers combined? Where was the follow-up to Team 3D challenging the Machine Guns to a title versus career match? You didn't even mention that. I guess ratings-wise it was a success, but creatively, you're not off to a good start here, TNA. You're really not.